Performance improvement plans don't work in business, and I'm going to make an argument in this video as to why companies should move off of them. Okay, so what's a performance improvement plan? This is an old way of writing people up that companies used to use that most companies have moved off of. Some companies and some managers are stubbornly stuck to them, and let's talk about that. So a performance improvement plan is usually a 90 to 120 day plan, and the plan is supposed to meet with the employee once a month to be able to talk about their performance when the employee is struggling or they're not a natural fit for the role, and be able to coach them into being successful or coach them out the door to be able to fire them. Here's the reason it doesn't work. First of all, it's way too long of a tail for the program to work. If you're talking about normal discipline at a company, the common practice in America is what's called progressive discipline. Progressive discipline means you get a verbal warning today because you're messing something up at work. Usually the company will give you 30 days and then they'll set a follow-up meeting. At that follow-up meeting, they're either going to tell you you're doing great and go back to work and you're not on a verbal anymore, or you're getting a written at that point. So that's a month, verbal to written. Then they're going to schedule a meeting 2 weeks to a month after the written to review if you've been able to fix the problem. If you get to the point where you're written, usually 2 weeks is enough, but if they want to go to a month, they can. And at that next month review, they're going to sit down with you and they're going to say, you're able to fix the problem, you're not on a write-up anymore, you're doing great, or you're out the door. So it's 60 days to being terminated or to completely turn things around in 30 or 60 days. That's how progressive discipline works and should work in America. It provides safety and protection from liability for the company because they gave the employee a chance to turn things around and fix, and it gives the employee enough time to be able to turn things around and make corrections. So verbal, written, out the door, or verbal, correction, fixed, or written, correction, fixed, okay? Easy, right? Okay, so PIPs fail because, first of all, they're too long. 90 to 120 days is just like, are we gonna do this or not type of a feeling. And the reason that they fail is not maybe what you'd think. The reason that they fail is because of managers. And what I mean is that if you start to do okay in 30 days, they might have that 30-day meeting. I cannot tell you over the years the number of times that I've seen managers drop the ball on the PIPs. Not the employee, but the managers drop the ball because maybe they don't do the 60 or the 90-day meeting, and then 120 days, they let Bob go. And then Bob's recourse is to say, wait a second, no, I was improperly fired. You didn't even do my 60 and 90 days reviews in which you were supposed to meet with me, tell me what my progress was, and then you were supposed to coach or train me back up to correction so that I could continue to keep my job and do my job. So companies and managers are the ones that drop the ball on PIPs all the time. If you're gonna do a PIP and keep it in, you have to calendar it live when you're with them. So we gave you the PIP 30 days from now, today's 2/5. I'm gonna make this for 3/5. We're gonna meet on this date. You set the Outlook calendar or the Google calendar or whatever calendar you have Outlook. You send it immediately to the employee and you have to keep that and follow up on it. 95% of the time, it's companies that fail the PIP and companies that create their own liability by not following it properly when they are supposed to, guys. So PIPs are outdated, they often flop, they don't work, and usually if you're giving somebody 90 to 120 days, all they're doing is doing the bare minimum for you while they look for another job and get paid for it. It doesn't work for companies. Use progressive discipline, verbal, written, out the door if you really have to get rid of somebody if you can't turn things around. But your job, don't forget, as a manager, as a leader in business in America, is to use that 30 days to coach the person to be able to stay. It's so much more expensive for companies to replace people than it is to train and develop the people that they have. So use that verbal as the impetus to start doing everything you can to turn that employee around if you're a manager. And if you're an employee and you do want to stay at this company, actually take that verbal seriously in the next 30 days. Rock it hard to be able to turn things around, to be able to try to keep your job and do a good job going forward. But PIPs, I think, are dead in business or should be dead in business. But let me know your thoughts. If you used them, if they failed, what your experience has been before.